Vice-Chancellor, fellow council members and staff of the university, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. It is customary for the university and its guests to gather as a body for the purpose of conferring academic awards on its graduands. This morning we have gathered in order that awards may be conferred on those who have satisfied the Council of the University that they have met the requirements for admissions to awards undertaken within the faculties of Art and Design and Architecture. To members of the University, a ceremony for the conferring of awards is a particularly important and happy occasion in the university year. To all of you, I extend a warm welcome. To graduands and diplomats, I offer congratulations and best wishes. The mission of the university is, in part, to provide a wide range of teaching, research, scholarship and service at the highest level of excellence and consistent with its aim of maintaining national and international esteem. The university has a commitment to the advancement and transmission of knowledge by the pursuit, recognition and the achievement of excellence in scholarship, research and teaching. This will be evidenced in the course of today's ceremony. Education today is about the acquisition of lifelong learning skills. I believe that the awards to be conferred upon our graduands and diplomats today will qualify them to make significant contributions in the local, national, and in the case of some, international community. Lastly, I take this opportunity to remind those receiving their posthumous today that as graduands and diplomats of the university, you automatically become members of Convocation. You thus join some 40,000 other graduates who have an opportunity through elected representation to become involved in the governance of the university. Through Convocation, you will also be kept informed of activities and developments at the university. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with the authority conferred upon me by the Council, I will now formally present the awards. Will all candidates for admission to degrees and other awards please stand? In the name of the Council, and by my authority as Acting Chancellor, I confer the awards specified in the program on all those graduates and diplomats who are present today, and in absentia on those unable to be present. I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Art and Design to present graduates and graduate diplomats from that faculty.
Acting Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts Design, Graphic Design. Yvette Anderson. Fang Chi Chang. Elise Michelle Crooks. Elizabeth de Laurentiis. Jane Dowling. Melanie Jane England. Jodie Enid Garden. Anne Lyndall Gordon. Shannon Louise Gray. Lisa Jane Kirkham. Trina Nadira Morrison. Rolf Barrington Poole. Carolyn Ivy Ryan. Trevor Murray Savage. Linda Gale Simmons. David John Taylor. Benjamin Kin Bong Teng. Anthony Thorpe. Rebecca Jane Yonon. Acting Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts Design, Industrial Design. Christopher John Barrett. Ian Lindsay Brown. Justin Lloyd Dean. Craig Antony Garva. Erin Graham Hearn. Andrew Murray Yana. Juan Carlos Jimenez. John David Shilkin. Acting Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Visual Arts. Terry James Ackroyd. Jane Allen. Gordon Orkinaki. Peter Howard Bakewell. Karen Bartolo. Heidi Jean Louise Beard. Alan Charles Bender. Suzanne Helen Blacklock. Nicole Marie Bondini. Joanne Catherine Brannigan. Carly Michelle Briscoe. Damien John Burnham. Adrienne Jane Chan. Christopher Stephen Denzin. Elizabeth Devonshire. Michelle Drage. Justin Robert Drape. Julie Marie Easton. Alison Lee Elliott. Rebecca Farnell. Mia Helen Fawcett. Carolyn Michelle Robin Ferguson. James Robert William Golloway. Kirsten Gillespie. Ruth Ann Goodwin. Georgina Gordon. Kathleen Margaret Gormley. Jacqueline Barbara Goss. Victoria Louise Gregory. Rachel Annika Grieg. Michelle Louise Hanchard. Varel Eleanor Dorothy Hardy. Robin Sally Hill. Jane Ruth Hosking. Cherie May Hudson. Cynthia Ruth Ingle. Yvette Jackson. Tracy Ann Johnson. Anthony Todd Johnston. Matthew Adam Johnstone. Melanie Knight. Dion Andrew Leedham. Sarah Jane McKinley Lewis. Nadine Terry Liggins. Linda May MacDonald. Sandra Margaret Matum. Martine McCormack. Annette MacDonald. Michelle Janet McKenna. Fiona Catherine McLeod. Sarah Louise Merrick. Elizabeth Josephine Milgate. Timothy Bruce Molesworth. Gloria Jean Murphy. Beverly Grace Murrell. Emma Victoria Nelson Wilkinson. Robin Gay Newman. Jacinta Marie Parmiter. Vanessa Jane Price. Ruth Enid Punch. Ewan Ramsey Stewart. Raylene Michelle Rogers. Angela Robin Rosen. Natalie Jane Shering. Maureen Angelia Simmons. Catherine Louise Squires. Catherine Mary Strutt. Jennifer Ann Strutt. Sarah Jane Taylor. Larissa Claire Taylor. Warren James Taylor. Warwick Paul Timmins. Catherine Ann Warner-Smith. Roberta Allen Wiseman. Acting Chancellor, I present to you candidates who have been awarded the Graduate Diploma in Art. Donna Marie Boleski. Catherine Jane Bliss. Leslie Frances Elkan. Michelle Lynn Fletcher. Jolyon Gray. Bonnie Jane McKinnon. Sonia Snezanka Naumov. Theodora Papasatriou. Suzanne Louise Reed. Lucy Annabelle Sands. Acting Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates and graduate diplomates of the Faculty of Art and Design. I thank you.
Thank you, Professor Gilchrist. I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Architecture to present graduates from the faculty.
Acting Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Construction Management, Building. Jason Anthony Aiello. Stuart Kenneth Bennett. Lubko Stoyanovsky. David John Virtue. Matthew Lawrence Walker. Acting Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Construction Management Building with Class 2 Division 2 honours. Andrew Robert Blackie. Mark Wolfe Courtney Clark. Brendan Mark Ferrugia. Sean David O'Hara. Michael Benjamin Ross. With Class 2 Division 1 honours, Matthew Stewart Leslie Southwell. Peter John Talbot. And with Class 1 honours, Thomas Charles Plenty. The University Medal is an award made in recognition of academic excellence. It is a rare honour and may only be awarded to a graduate who, in addition to achieving first-class honours, displays ability which is considered to be outstanding by the University Medals Committee. It is my particular pleasure to present to you, with Honours Class 1 and University Medal, Mark Robert Chase. Acting Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Science, Architecture. Michael William Alder. Joel Leonard DeCarl. Rebecca Jean Graham. Anthony Nicholas Jensch. Dana Jameson. Kira Elizabeth Robson. Brad Wrightson. And with merit, Melanie Kyra Bale. Matthew Charles Francis Blair. David Paul Kyle. Aaron Lynn Cook. Penelope Ann Garrett. Adam John Hobbs. Virginia Jean McLeod. Brett Patwawa Nathan. Susanna Rachel Potts. Elaine Karina Richardson. Darren James Robinson. Benjamin James Sharman. Barry John Sisson. Christopher Lee Smith. Mark Andrew Stanfield. Helen Alexandra Stumbaum. Nicole Gay Waterman. Acting Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Architecture. Paulo Jorge Rebelo de Andrade. Nicole Louise Cramp. Bogina Isabella Danielle Viclent. Douglas Craig Mello. Yunvun Yap. Acting Chancellor, I now present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Architecture with Class 2 honours. Chris Asevsky. Ramsey Awad. Jason Edward Blake. Anton Anthony Chan. Chelsea Joan Dawson. David Galles. Tracy Leanne Lord. Gavin Mark Lyon. Andrew Trent Pell. And with Class 1 honours, Jodie Therese Dixon. Chris William Doolan. Christopher Charles Tucker. Acting Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates of the Faculty of Architecture.
Gentlemen, I now call upon Dr. Vernon Ireland, National Learning Manager for Fletcher Construction Group, Adjunct Professor at the University of Technology, Sydney, and Honorary Professor at the Shanghai Institute of Urban Construction, to deliver the occasional address. Dr. Vernon.
The World Future Society predicts the demise of universities by the year 2020. They believe the service universities currently provide will be supplied by corporations, offering a similar educational experience. So if you believe the World Future Society is correct in this prediction, you'll need to capitalise on your degree in the next 25 years. Also, if the society is correct, it won't be a process like many changes of power, in which there is a precise time of power transfer. There will be a gradual decline of universities and of the value of that piece of paper, as some people describe it. Now, for someone who spent half of his life studying and most of the other half teaching, the demise of universities is not a comforting thought. And I'd be particularly sorry to see this occur. The university has been a strong source of personal growth to me, or for me, first as a student and then as an academic. I believe it is quite a tribute to an organisation that in over 20 years as a staff member, I can say that every day I headed for the university with absolute enthusiasm for the day before me. I'm not sure that I can currently say that. Now, you may say this demise will never occur. The hallowed institutions going back to the Middle Ages are beyond the ravages of time. However, who would have predicted in 1980 the dissolution of the Soviet Union within a decade, or the gradual decline of most of Western religions in the last 50 years? So then, will your degree be like the quasi-banknotes issued by the local chambers of commerce in Italy, of no value when you move on to the next town? On the contrary, you must individually decide how you use the education you've received so that it grows like a sound investment and enriches your future life. Apart from the knowledge and skills imparted, and I might say I don't think the World Future Society is correct, but it certainly catches our attention. Apart from the knowledge and skills imparted, the university provides a community where inquiring minds are fostered and new ideas generated, where like minds are linked and friendships are formed. A computer, or even an information superhighway, would be a very poor substitute for such interactions. Whatever the role, or whatever the case on the role of the future of the universities, you have at least 25 years to capitalise on your degree, and of course the whole of your life, to continue your personal growth. Clearly, today is a milestone. It's a day of celebration for you and for your family, and of course for the teaching staff of this institution. But most importantly, I believe it's a day of challenge to make the most of the opportunities before you. And it's this theme of challenge that I'd like to develop today. What is the challenge of graduation? It's rather like the challenge of having your hat thrown into the lion's cage. You can leave it or you can retrieve it. In other words, you can respond or decline and play safe, or you can be daring. I'd like to share with you some of the challenges that I've been conscious of in exchanging the riches of university for the cut and thrust of the real world, as many people are keen to point out. I think that's a bit unkind. Having left the university almost 4 years ago, I believe I have something in common with you all today. The first challenge I believe we're all confronted with is the challenge to add value in whatever we do. Although in some ways this is like saying there's no free lunch, the concept runs rather deeper than this. Entropy is always lurking out there. The newest graduate can bring a different perspective, a new approach to business or government. The important thing is that each person looks beyond just doing the immediate job, as it is, and seeks to enhance the job they do, either by enlarging the parameters or by finding ways to be more effective, or by simplifying the process. Now, many people see the raising of issues as an important step in the process of adding value, and this is certainly the case, especially if different perspectives can shed light on a topic. I'm interested to find that de Bono's simple notion of exchanging perspectives by putting on different coloured hats is actually effective for a group. A blue hat for managing the thinking, a white hat for information gathering, a red hat for feelings, a green hat for creativity, a yellow hat for benefits, and a black hat for caution, a little like standing on the table. However, I believe that little value is added until all the relevant issues and perspectives have been integrated into a workable solution, whether this is in industry, business, government, or within the university. Now, the second challenge I believe we're all confronted with today is the challenge to compete with the Asian economies. We are now largely in a global marketplace, and this will become even more the case in my view. I once asked a relative who was studying in Los Angeles about the quality of the local bookshops. She replied that she never purchased books locally, she ordered from New York. They were cheaper in New York, and they arrived by courier the next day, or by mail actually. This was an early manifestation of the global marketplace. Now, much has been said by our politicians, by the media, and many leaders of commerce and industry of the need to compete with Asia in order to secure our economic well-being. Lately, there have even been comments by Asian leaders and business people as to how we can successfully integrate into this part of the global network. And there are many facets to this challenge, and my own recent experience provides one example of the factors that need to be taken into account. In the past year and a half, I've spent 5 months in China on some 8 separate visits associated with work in the construction industry and training Chinese project managers. Now, a Chinese construction worker earns $20 Australian per week. And my estimate for the construction industry is that they produce approximately 40% of what a trained worker in Australia produces. The Chinese construction industry often works 21 shifts a week, in other words, around the clock, 7 days a week, and has just completed 80 kilometres of elevated expressway, 4 lanes wide, in Shanghai in 18 months, including all the urban clearance. In terms of domestic competition, Chinese workers will probably not compete in Australia, using their low wages, with our workers, due to our award system and enterprise agreements. However, they can provide competition in other ways. Sekisui are already producing a manufactured house in Japan, which takes just 3 days to erect, at prices comparable to our project homes in Australia. The Chinese will be able to produce a similar house in time. Once it becomes cheaper to purchase the imported house, severe competition would be provided for our domestic construction industry. And of course, this sort of competition has already been experienced by the clothing industry and electronic industry. The pressure of such competition will shape your professional lives. We all need to constantly identify innovations to allow us in Australia to compete with such low-wage economies by being smarter. To achieve this, we need to provide some stretching goals to drive innovation, such as by constructing in 50 or maybe 30% of the current time, or possibly at 30% of the current cost. And similar goals, stretching goals, can be found in design, be it architectural design or other forms of design. This then leads me to my third challenge, to re-engineer. The concept's quite simple in principle, but difficult to achieve in practice. It's simply elimination of all the non-value-adding stages in a process. An example of a non-value-adding stage of a process is a letter sitting in an in or out tray waiting for action. The letter takes 10 minutes to dictate and 10 minutes for a secretary to word process. However, the total time to get the letter out is 24 hours, and in some cases 48 or 72 hours. And most of that time is non-value added. An example of substantial process time reductions is offered by the US company Motorola. They've reduced the time to produce a pager from an average of 60 days to 1 hour and 16 minutes, a process time reduction of 99%. A good example contributing to this time reduction is the ordering, delivery, receipt, and invoicing of parts for their pagers and cellular phones. The bins for the parts are located beside the assembly line. The system was, or used to be, to order new parts when the storage bins got low, to sign a receipt slip when the parts were delivered, to check they'd been delivered when the invoice was received, and to then institute payment. Now, in my company, there are 12 steps to getting an invoice paid, and only one step can go wrong. Even the smallest step, or smallest task of opening the letter and allocating the invoice to someone to process. Motorola changed the process. They requested their suppliers to come and fill the storage bins as required, thus eliminating ordering, delivery dockets, and invoicing. And payment would be on the basis of X dollars for each pager sold. And the suppliers could audit Motorola's books at any point in time. Up to 50 process steps were eliminated. I believe all organisations need to relentlessly pursue such process re-engineering, because the use of time as a competitive element will become more and more relevant. This then leads me to my fourth challenge, to take advantage of electronic communication. As an example, I'd be very surprised if one of the large and well-endowed US universities is not currently designing degrees for delivery over the information superhighway. I believe with massive initial investment, such courses could be delivered as well as those currently offered in the disciplines in which there's minimal student input, in which there is primarily a body of knowledge to be internalised. Now, I recognise that this is less so in the degrees of these faculties, where professional decision-making is required. But it's not beyond the bounds of possibility. A tutorial on a split screen in one study with the faces of 6 different people in front of you, and including students from 6 different countries, would provide perspectives and have marketing appeal beyond the power of many universities in Australia to compete. Similar competition is already occurring for design services from Asia, and this will only increase. We need, of course, to work out how we can include the benefits of electronic communication in our business processes. The fifth challenge I believe we're all confronted with today is the challenge of personal growth. If we believe that change will continue to occur at an ever-increasing pace, since human beings adapt most readily with practice, we should all attempt to place ourselves in the mainstream of rapid change in order to develop our abilities to cope and to adapt. In other words, enjoy the pain of the uncomfortable and the unfamiliar. A tough call. One other avenue of personal growth is through the arts, the other world that competes with the sciences and technologies and with management. Architecture and design seek to combine technology and art, but I don't believe the scientific or technologically based disciplines necessarily do so. Individuals in all disciplines need to develop these areas in tandem with their professional growth, difficult as it may be to find time. For a period of my life, I had the pleasure of formally studying English literature, and this pleasure remains with me. I believe the integration of the arts and the technologies leads to a much more satisfying life, even though you will be increasingly busy. Time spent in cultivating your other self will be well spent. Now, my sixth and my final challenge, I believe we're all confronted with today, is the challenge to balance business and personal relationships. In this context, I'm impressed with Stephen Covey's concept of each person having an emotional bank account, which operates largely as a real bank account does. You make deposits and you make withdrawals. And if you make more withdrawals than deposits, you're heading for problems in a relationship. This applies to relationships with subordinates, superiors, friends, spouses, children, and parents. Deposits are made by recognising the individual worth of a person, or amending plans to accommodate those of another person, and especially by synergising in a new development. Withdrawals are made by presuming on the relationship, by failing to keep one's word, and by requiring assistance and by not being willing or able to return it. One characteristic that makes a steady withdrawal is by being a boring person, by failing to provide stimulation, by failing to add value in any relationship. And this is a trap that many professionals fall into by concentrating almost totally on their work. Covey suggests that each person should make a strategic plan for himself or herself and include those with whom they have relationships as part of the plan. This personal strategic plan is then used each day in drawing up the to-do list for the next day, and hence one is forced to consider and include the longer-term activities of relationship building, personal development and planning ahead that form part of the important but non-urgent activities that get pushed aside by those urgent activities and often unimportant ones, such as answering the telephone call from an unwelcome caller. Now, I've shared with you some of the challenges which I'm facing in my current working experience. I'm optimistic that the testing of new ideas and the inclusion of these into solutions will lead to a satisfying and fulfilling career for all of you today. I hope that you will all find your own challenges and successfully conquer them. In drawing these ideas to a conclusion, you might say that responding to 6 challenges is too difficult. Perhaps you're correct. However, I believe that this is the inevitable consequence of competing in a global marketplace with a $20 a week economies. And whilst we attempt to maintain our standards of living, people are going to be very stretched to maintain this competitive advantage in their business activities, whilst continuing to develop satisfying personal relationships and continued rounded growth. However, I believe it can be done if you are determined and if you constantly focus on the goal. In conclusion, I'd like to congratulate all of the graduates here today on their success and acknowledge the role of their families and their friends in providing the emotional and other support through this phase of their development. I'd like to wish all graduates every success in taking up the challenges of the next phase of their careers. And finally, I would like to thank the university for this invitation to be present here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ireland, for your very challenging, thought-provoking and informative address. Thank you. I've now pleasure in inviting Mr. Mark Chase to speak on behalf of the graduates. Chase.
Acting Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests, friends and fellow graduates. I'm sure that like many of my fellow graduates, I came to university with what seemed like a distant dream of one day graduating. This was an event that I envisaged would signify the culmination of my learning and would free me from the shackles of study. Reflecting on my university experiences now that I have reached this day, I can see with the benefit of hindsight how far from the truth I was. In preparing this speech, I considered the diverse backgrounds from which we have come and the variety of different career paths which we may choose to pursue. Each graduate here today has their own story, their own university experiences, and their own record of achievement. In many ways, it seemed difficult to draw on a common thread, but I believe that we all came to this university with a common goal: to learn and to ultimately build a better future for ourselves. As one of the first construction management graduates from the University of Newcastle, it would therefore be remiss of me not to relate the learning experience of those graduating today to the building process. This process involves a series of events that are required to take a project from a conceptual stage as an idea or a vision to a completed structure. These stages include activities such as planning, designing, analysing, reviewing, and possibly redrafting before the actual construction phase can begin. Some of us came to Newcastle University with a clear blueprint for our future, while others had a vision that required more time and planning to clarify the design. In many cases, we have refined or even changed our plan to an extent where it bears little or no resemblance to the initial proposal. A scenario which I can guarantee you is not uncommon in the construction industry. Thus, having selected our courses and subjects based on our blueprint, we began to work towards the completion of our degree, and the first stage of the construction process had begun. Regardless of our design, all buildings require solid foundations. In completing our degree, we have prepared the ground, and the foundations on which we can build our future have been laid. Whether we choose to pursue further formal studies or to seek employment, our graduation today does not mark the end of our learning, but the celebration of a milestone in an ongoing construction process. In completing the groundwork and laying the foundations, we have gained knowledge in our chosen fields, but more importantly, we have developed learning skills that have prepared us for independent and lifelong learning. During our academic education, we have been encouraged to question, to think critically and laterally, to respond creatively, to challenge the orthodox, and to open our eyes to a wide variety of views. The world is continually changing. Unless we are aware and prepared for this, our building may crumble. As we cannot predict what is round the corner, the most valuable talent we can possess is that we can have the ability to solve problems as we meet them. While we still have much to learn, we now have the skills to define a problem, to explore options, and most importantly, to suggest an answer based on reasoned judgment. The University of Newcastle has developed an impressive reputation for the problem-based approach to teaching and learning, adopted by many of the faculties. In many cases, the potential isolation of academic education from business and industry has been bridged by this system. This approach has been widely supported and, more importantly, accepted by business and professions and has brought acclaim to Newcastle University as a role model for other educational institutions. However, as we reflect on our time at Newcastle University, it cannot be said that it was all hard work. Just as a balanced life recognises the importance of work, health, and relationships with friends and family, the process of learning extends far beyond the lecture theatres, the studio, and the library. A complete education offers more than academic development. It offers us the chance to discover and develop our personal potential, an opportunity which is enriched by sharing our experiences with others. In this way, the diversity of university life, the O-Ball, memberships of sporting, artistic, religious, and political groups have taught us to accept and to appreciate the richness and diversity of human nature, and have helped us acquire new skills and to develop as well-balanced and mature people. Today is an opportunity for us to pause and to look over our work, remembering how we laboured over it, the people we worked with, and the experiences we shared. It is also a chance to celebrate what we have accomplished. A task that at times seemed insurmountable, today can be reflected on as a rewarding experience. On behalf of those graduating, I extend our appreciation to our fellow labourers, the educators, the families, and the friends who have shared our university experience and who fill this auditorium today. I thank you for your support and the role that you have played in bringing us to this graduation ceremony today. You have been our coaches, our critics, our counsellors, our creditors, our sounding boards, our sympathisers, and our greatest supporters. With this support and encouragement, the foundation stones on which we will now endeavour to build our future have been laid. This is not the end of our learning, it is merely the beginning. Thank you.
As you all know, the graduates from the Bachelor of Construction Management building are the first graduates from this university of this new faculty, and they have been well represented today by our speaker, Mr. Mark Chasen. I thank you very much, Mark, for your address. That brings this ceremony to conclusion. I now declare the ceremony concluded.